The good thing about today is, of course, thankfully, we have a new distraction. That weekend, we can park it. We have a new distraction, and that is we have to go back to work. Good morning, 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 Gooniverse, good morning, Arsenal fans, good morning, everyone who's watching. Thank you for joining us live this morning. Tuesday, of course, it is Tuesday. It feels like a Monday, but thankfully it's Tuesday, and it's only a 4-day week for those of us that have to work normal hours, unless of course you're retail and you're working over the weekend and all those bank holidays and all that. That sucks for you. But those of us that didn't, well, we had a nice long weekend. But as always, all good things must come to an end. All good things must come to an end. Hopefully that's not the theme of our season, given what happened and transpired on Saturday, which seems like about 10 weeks ago now. But it does still live long and fresh in the memory, doesn't it? It really, really does. Oh, I can't wait to see all my friends and colleagues at work today. All those London Man United fans, they are absolutely the best to speak to on a day like today. I'll be looking forward to conversing with them. But anyway, enough about that rubbish. I'm Edwin Ash and welcome to the Big Arsenal Breakfast Show. It is Tuesday, the 7th of April, and we have got a lot in store for you today. But before we continue, I must, as ever, ask you to lizzle and subscrizzle. Lizzle and subscrizzle. Please, yes, like and subscribe. It helps us get out there to other gooners, other gunners, so that we can have this kind of daily Arsenal therapy. Because let's face it, for this run-in, we are going to need that, aren't we? We are going to need that. There was a lot of tetchiness over the weekend, by God. There was a lot of tetchiness. I posted some videos. I got some tetchy responses. I mostly got responses from rival fans. It's always nice of them to chip in. It's always nice to hear nothing from them for weeks on end. And then when you finally lose a game, which is rare, touch wood these days, thank God. Oh, do they love to come and have a chat with you? Anyway, Lizzle and Subscrizzle. Lizzle and Subscrizzle. So we can reach more gunners. You can also get in touch with us at Big Arse Breakfast on TikTok, at Big Arse Breakfast on Instagram, at Big Arse Brecky on X. And you can email if you like. If you want to email, you can do that. Show at bigarsenalbreakfast.com. Don't forget, we also have the podcast. The audio of this will be released about 20 minutes after the show. So if you're missing bits of this, or you're in and out, or you're getting changed, getting ready, having a shave, having a shoot, all that sort of stuff, you can pick up the podcast later. It'll be available about 20 minutes afterwards. It's always on Apple, Spotify, and all the other famous ones that I've never heard of. So yeah, on today's show, we will be previewing the big Champions League quarterfinal tonight, the big Champions League quarterfinal against Sporting Clube de Portugal, not Sporting Lisbon. That is not allowed. You're not allowed to say Sporting Lisbon. People get very cross if you say Sporting Lisbon. So it's Sporting Clube de Portugal or something like that. I'm not even sure. I should have checked. Oops. We're going to have a little look at Mikel's presser yesterday, which took place around 6:30ish, something like that. And we're going to predict what Arteta will pick for this evening's game. The lineup for Arteta. What do you think Arteta is going to pick for this evening's game? We've also got your big arse opinions, as ever. You can have your say. And we have your big arse team talks, because it's game day. It is a game day show. And on a game day show, we entreat you to write into us or comment and let us know what you would say to the team if it was up to you. If you had the dressing room, if you could hold the dressing room for 5 minutes before the game, look around in the players' eyes and say, hey, guys, what would be? What would you like to to them? Would you like to go, you're rubbish, get out there and perform? Or would you like to go, you're the best, go and win the game, team? So that's a big ass team talk. That's what we want you to do. So moving on swiftly. What did Mikel have to say yesterday? Well, he said a lot. He said a lot. On whether there is added importance on this game after the back-to-back losses, he responded, this is the quarterfinals of the Champions League. It doesn't get much better than that. And we worked so hard throughout the season to be in this position in competition. We're going to play an opponent where we know their record. We know what they've done. I'm hungrier than ever. Very excited and very, very motivated for tomorrow's game. When asked about people questioning the mentality of his side, he said, That's never going to change. When you play at this level for this club, when you play at this level for this club, full stop. He also said that the expectation mean his players must live in the present and deliver every day. Yes, they should. On Victor Gyökeres' return to his former club, he said, the striker is very excited and full of gratitude to all those who helped him in Portugal. On Gyökeres' exploits in the international break, where he scored 4 goals to help Sweden reach the World Cup, Arteta said those are the experiences you put in your veins, adding the moments will stick with him for the rest of his career. And then a little bit on facing Sporting, he said, when you know what they have done at home, the way they have behaved in this Champions League, the opponents they have beaten, we know the difficulties of this match, and that is why we want it even more. Yeah, pretty bog standard stuff, to be honest with you. All these presses kind of are. I'm not going to lie. There is a lot. There is a hell of a lot in that presser. I have to say, there's loads. And you can get it all, every single word, over at football.london, where Tom Canton has transcribed the entire interview. You can also find it on the Arsenal website. But go to football.london because Tom Canton, who runs the Gooner Talk, as I'm sure you know, and he's put in all that work, as he always does. And it's worth going to give them the traffic and the clicks. David Raya came out and had some words to say as well, which I thought was quite interesting that Raya was put before the press. On the recent losses, he said, we just have to use that as fuel. We use that fuel and that pain that we had after the game to pick it up for the rest of the season. It starts tomorrow. That is the most important game. He also said on the mood in the camp, he said, it's that happiness that you have when you are out there playing. This is the most important part of the season, and we have to enjoy it. Yeah. Well, I'm glad. I mean, they don't seem to be too affected. They don't seem to be too affected by it. I don't think. I don't know how easy it is for players to compartmentalize that sort of stuff, but they don't seem bothered. They really didn't seem bothered. Not in a bad way. Not they don't care, but like they seem to have moved on. That's right. That sound effect indicates, if you're listening on the podcast, injury news. Injury news. And the reason why I segue from that to this, here's a picture of them. There's a picture of them. Do you know what? I've never known a training session to be so heavily scrutinised or watched by Arsenal fans, including myself. When the footage was coming out yesterday, we were like, who's there? Who's there? Who's training? Who's not? What's going on? What's going on? So if you're listening on the podcast, you can see there a picture of them all respecting the ball. They're playing this game where they lock their heads together with the ball in the middle, and it's kind of like a safety trust exercise where the groups have to race to the line with the ball squeezed between their heads. And looking on there is, yes, there's all of them. There's all of them there with the balls squeezed between their heads playing this game. And on the corner, there is Gabriel Eze, and he looks like he's absolutely screaming at them like, "Beyond euch, Leute sonst beiße ich euch in den Hintern wie ein Wartweiler." If you don't speak German, which I do a little bit, that means hurry up, guys. If you don't hurry up, I'll bite you in the arse like a Rottweiler. But yeah, he looks pretty involved, Gabriel Eze. I hope some of that madness that he has transmits into the team in a good way. Anyway, the big news yesterday. It was first broken by Darren Arsenal 1 on Twitter that Eze was back, and we all collectively lost our excited poo. We were all like, "Oh my God, Eze's back! Does that mean he's back tomorrow? What the hell is going on?" Except for he's not back for tomorrow or tonight's game even. But miraculously, he then followed up Darren Arsenal 1 that he's likely to be back for Bournemouth. And I've said on this show, egg on my face, I've said on this show that basically I didn't see him being back before City, as first reported by John Cross. I didn't see him being back until the end of April. It was a calf strain. So it was obviously not as bad as what was first thought. They managed it well. They were a little bit secretive with it, maybe. Who knows? A little bit of trickery. Mikel loves a bit of trickery. But yeah, so he's going to be back for Bournemouth, potentially, which is huge news. Huge news. That is very, very exciting. And then spotted in that training session were Gabriel, Declan, and Trossard. Not spotted were Timber, Hincapié, Eze, obviously, and Bukayo Saka, or at least those are the players that are confirmed out now. So that is what Mikel confirmed yesterday. So who's in? Gabby makes it. Big Gabby makes it. Thank God that knee injury doesn't first seem as bad as we thought it did. Trossard back and Rice back, but no Bukayo, still no Timber. No Bukayo. That's interesting because we obviously faked his injury to get him out of the England game, but subsequently he's turned out to be injured. Oh my God, what bad luck that is. Do you think that's karma? Do we think that's karma? That Bukayo faked an injury and then it turns out he got injured? Oh, England press pack will have some fun with that. Good morning to Melitensis. Melitensis has joined us. Hi, good morning and happy Tuesday. Good news about Eze, but I hope he's not going to rush him back. Yeah, Melitensis, that's a great point. What do we think? What do we think? What do we think? How do we think? This is my opinion, Melitensis. Let me know what you think. I think we've been pretty good at not rushing players back these days, such as the squad. We haven't really rushed Erdegaard back. The rumours on the streets about Erdegaard was that he could have possibly played sooner. That the medical staff have basically been saying to him, look, there's nothing that we can find that's seriously wrong with you. But if you're feeling pain, then you take your time to get back. That is roughly, I'm sort of paraphrasing there, but that's roughly the rumor mill that was going on around Erdegaard, is that it was him that's not feeling right. But every scan, study, whatever they've done on him has said, you should be fit to go. So I don't know. I think we've learned about rushing players back from the probably Thomas Partey days, to be honest with you. And I think we're going to be sensible with it. But I get your concerns, Melitensis. Good to see you, by the way. Good morning to you. I hope you're well. Stay with us, Melitensis. The floor is yours as ever. Right, we're going to just quickly go through some sporting news. Well, I did a bit of this yesterday, so forgive me. I'm not just rehashing old stuff. I'm a little bit. But I will rattle through sporting, right? I just rattle through it because it is game day. So very quickly, what we covered yesterday on yesterday's show, they are second in their league. They are 5 points behind Porto. They have a game in hand, so they're very much in their title running. They finished in the Champions League spots in, oh God, what have I got there? They finished in the Champions League spots in 8th place, above Real Madrid, Inter, Paris Saint-Germain and Newcastle, above Man City and one below Chelsea. During their Champions League run, they beat Kairat at home 4-1. They lost to Napoli away 2-1. They beat Marseille at home 2-1. They drew with Juventus away. They thrashed Club Brugge 3-0 at home. They lost away at Bayern Munich 3-1. They then beat, significantly, they beat Paris Saint-Germain at home in January. They beat Paris Saint-Germain at home 2-1. It was a good result for them. And then they beat Atletico Bilbao 3-2. They also then obviously overturned a massive 3-0 deficit from the first leg against Bodo in the first leg of the knockout stages. So they were 3-0 down. And as you know, they turned it around, beat them 5-0. I don't think they're any mugs. I do not think they're any mugs. I did have a lovely graphic for all those results for you to look at and stare at. This was something I did update from yesterday. A lovely graphic for all those results. And now I've just rattled through those results and probably move on to the next thing without you seeing my lovely graphic. But just take a second to have a look at that lovely graphic. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that nice? Stuck that together yesterday. You know what I was doing? G-Dog. G-Dog. G-Dog is in the chat. G-Dog has said, hola, game day. Hola. G-Dog, I get a sneaky suspicion you might be watching from abroad. Where are you, G-Dog? Come on, share with the group. Share with the group. Tell us your story. Come on. Let's have it. Where are you, lad? And Footy Corner _TV. Yes, brethren. It's in the chat this morning. He says that Bodo destruction was coming. Tell me about that, Footy Corner TV, if you can. We got the time. What did we see that coming? That they were going to absolutely hammer Bodo Glimt? Bodo, I mean, who did they beat? They beat everyone, didn't they? They put in a performance against City. Who else did they beat? They beat Inter. They beat some good teams. What was it about Bodo's destruction incoming that you saw? I must admit, I wasn't across them massively. I just looked at the impressive results that they had. And I honestly thought they would beat Sporting, especially after a 3-0 victory. What was the destruction? Tell us, what did you see that I didn't, or maybe some others didn't? But thanks for joining us, Footy Corner _TV. I assume that might be Sparks. Hello to you, Sparks, if that's you. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us. Massively, massively appreciate that. Right, let's do some predicted 11s. Predictive 11s. Right, here we go. What do we think? I'm going to let you stare at what I've predicted Arteta will do. So yesterday, on a match preview show, which was yesterday, match preview show, the Big Arsenal Breakfast Show crew, we predict what, well, we don't predict, we choose what we would like to see. Right? Yesterday, we chose what we would like to see. Today, we go with what we think Arteta's going to pick, right? So I'm just going to hold that there for a second because G-Dog has said, now this is, whoa, G-Dog, I'm in Portugal for work. We'll be watching in a restaurant we go to often when we come here where the owner is a Sporting fan. G-Dog. Oh, G-Dog. You're a better man than I. Now, I would imagine, G-Dog, correct me if I'm wrong. So you know the owner or you know the restaurant, you know this is a nice place you go to, right? I would imagine the owner is probably a lovely guy, a lovely fan of Sporting. I bet you can have some nice chit chat with him about the football, you know, that kind, you know, that scenario where you go abroad and you meet some really, really lovely people. That's the scenario I'm picturing. Not like when I go to a pub round where I live, which is mostly full of Man United fans in London, right? Go figure. So I never go to a pub to watch Arsenal. Right? I'm done with those days. Those days finished about, I don't know, they finished many, many years ago because I can't even bear to be around my friends who support other teams who aren't even that bantery if Arsenal aren't playing well, right? I lose my collective shit. I'm a sensitive, emotional guy. I have to watch football at home whilst Mrs. Babs is busying herself doing something else. While I sit there like a complete fucking nervous wreck, losing my shit with every ball that goes out of play, with every shot that's missed, getting tense, biting my fingernails off. But you're in Portugal with the owner of a restaurant who supports Sporting, capped off, my friend, capped off. Footy Corner TV says, I hate that underscore. Okay, at Footy Corner TV. You know, I've got to read out the underscore, my friend. Otherwise, how are they going to find you? You know, you got to be clear about this stuff. It's like when you first created your first ever Twitter handle, right? And you thought you were being cool, and you create your Twitter handle. It'd be like, yeah, what's your Twitter handle? It's like, oh yeah, 12" underscore 17 ... dash 5. And people are like, why didn't you just say at Edwin Ash? Yeah. Footy Corner says, honestly, I'm happier playing Sporting over Bodo. Yeah, I was the same. I was the same, mate. Yeah, I think the same. But because Sporting did overturn a massive 3-0, that 5-0 performance, you got to start thinking, yeah, you got to start thinking. Footy Corner says, I'm here for you, not for me. Thanks, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're very kind. I'm here for you, Footy Corner TV. Right. I'm rambling. Get on with it, Eddie. So the predicted 11. I think this sort of picks itself, don't we reckon? So Raya in goal, Mosquera right back because Timber's not made it and White's not in so much good form. Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, I think starts. Well, he does start. It's not going to be Lewis Kelly and Hincapie's out. Zubamendi, Rice, Noni on the right. We'll come back to that in a second. Erdegaard, Trossard left, Gyökeres up front. Now, the only amalgamation of a difference that we could see there potentially is, does Dalman start? Does Dalman start this big Champions League game? I don't think so. I don't think so. What do you think? Do you think he's going to start Dalman over Noni? I don't think so. I think that would... Yeah, I just don't think that you know, can you imagine if you Noni and Dalman starts? And I know Dalman's, you know, playing better and all that sort of stuff. I think Dalman's going to feature, though. I think Dalman's going to come in. Dalman is going to come in later on in the game. Whether we're winning, losing or not, I think he's going to feature. Gyökeres, I'm going with Gyökeres up front. Narrative FC, but also he's more informed than Havertz, isn't he? Who would have thought that? If you would have gone back to that conversation about 2 months ago when we're all seeing Havertz as our saviour, and Havertz is not getting up to scratch yet, is he? Let's be honest. He's a little bit way off the pace, but he can still feature. So unless you disagree with me, or if you do disagree with me, stick it in the comments, but I think that team pretty much picks itself, right? Yeah. Sparks has said Madueke starts. Yeah, he's going to, isn't he? Right, let's have a little look around the Arsenal verse.
Way too dry.
Yes, 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 yes. Big old Trump to get us going. What have I got up there? I've got one of the slides early. That is my wont to do. I always leave one hanging over from when I set up the show the night before. Right, a couple of things. I just got to respond to, because I said I would, to people that have gotten in contact with us over at YouTube in the comments section or at Big Ass Breakfast on TikTok. We're still in jail, by the way. We can't post. We don't know why. We're in jail for something on TikTok. Been asking them to let us loose. They say we're allowed to post. We're not. Something's broken. We don't know. At Big Ass Breakfast on TikTok, we can still see your comments. At Big Ass Breakfast on Insta, at Big Ass Brecky on X, and please, as ever, Lizzle and subscrizzle. So at Arsenal, come on, you Gunners 0304. This is in response to when I asked yesterday, were the cups a waste of time? Were the cups a waste of time? I said, would you prefer to go out early or would you prefer to have done what we did because we might have technically blooded and played some players and got minutes into those fringe players? At Arsenal, come on, you Gunners 0304 says, early, especially if we face a big team like Man City. If we beat them, we don't have to deal with them for the rest of the cup. If we go out, we don't have to deal with the cup, whilst Man City do, which slows them down. There has been some talk about Man City's games, where they're going to be coming. They've got semi-finals sandwiched in between some of their fixtures in the Premier League. Does that benefit us in some sort of way? We are going to have a whole week off before that Newcastle game. If I'm correct on that, someone could correct me. We are going to have a whole week off ahead of that Newcastle game in the league. That is, I think, the silver lining of getting knocked out of the cup. Yes, I know, don't shout at me. I know everyone's pissed off at me for saying it, but that is a silver lining. We don't have a cup semi-final. Let it go. We got a week's rest before Newcastle. We've got to win this league. So I said I'd shout out Arsenal coming to go 0304, and I have done. Thank you for getting in touch. Just going to jump in the chat. Sparks has said MLS downfall is crazy. Yep. He's dropped off, hasn't he? He has dropped off. Is that a consequence of playing in mixed rotated teams, though? When you think about it, if you drop MLS, no, because he has featured this year MLS, and he hasn't been anywhere near the level he was last year. Madaweki starts. He said Jesus is invisible when he plays. He absolutely is. Sparks, you're damn right. That's game over. It annoys me that Jesus goes on podcast talking to Bigham with such confidence and exuberance and talking about the team. It's like, that has to transmit to the pitch, mate. I'm not having a go at him, but you've got to do better than that. Spark says, we should go as far as we can in everything. Respect that. Totally respect that. Totally respect that. I'm taking the positives too, because but only because of our league position. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we weren't gunning for if we dropped out of these cups and we were struggling around fourth or third or even worse, my God, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Right, what else has been going on? I picked out a couple of tweets from Twitter yesterday. Mystic Mems at Mystic Mems at Mems AFC. He said, been a few days to think. Best thing that could happen was getting out of the cups. Too many games of distraction and changing players. Now we can focus on what's the most important, the Premier League. I do agree with that. Again, it doesn't make it hurt any less going out the cups, but there is now a renewed focus, isn't it? As the title of the show is called Crunch Time. This is it now. Hold on to your butts. Billy Carpenter. I'm sure you know Billy Carpenter. At Billy Carpy, I am writing in the meantime. My best pep talk is that I thought Arsenal were good 4 games ago, and I thought Arsenal were good 3 games ago. And I think a lot of everything is simply explained by which players have been on the pitch. I hard agree. Rotated teams on paper, you always think they perform better than what they do. How many times have we seen a rotated team that on paper should be dealing with a team, a championship side or a lower Europa League team or whatever that is, and you put in this rotated 11 and it just doesn't click, it doesn't work, it doesn't perform. The only time I can ever think in the history where I've seen heavily rotated teams play well together, correct me if I'm wrong, I can only remember some of the Arsene Wenger kids teams in the League Cup. Do you remember some of those teams that were absolutely flying? When you got all those youngsters playing together with like an exuberance and an abundance of like confidence and energy and whatnot. I don't see it being a problem, us returning to that next year for the League Cup, even with the massive squad that we've got. They'll get their chances at the business end of the season. I would love to see kids blooded in the League Cup again. And lastly, AE. At Arteta era. I've put this on there because I'm sure you'd like to wish him good luck. He said, Arsenal will be the end of me. I've got 3 tests at school tomorrow, but the only thing on mind is sporting. The Sporting CP game. So we say from the Big Arsenal Breakfast Show, Arteta era, good luck to you on those tests. Good luck to you on those tests. Try and compartmentalize the football. And do you know what? If you take those tests and all you can think about the football and you flunk it, do you know what you can do? You can become a podcast host. You don't want to know how I did in my test at school. And what else? What else? What else? What else? Have we got another one? We got another one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I got to give this one to Charlie Brown. Okay. So this is going to take a couple of minutes. Stick with me. So instant karma, take it a day. This comes from Carrie Brown at Carrie Brown TV, who's a reporter journalist who posted after the Southampton game. Late into the night, and Arteta takes some time to meet the fans waiting by the departing coach. Fans supportive, in quotes, we go again. Sportingly ignored the Saints fans, giving them abuse and just let them have their day. Now, I'm going to play a slight clip of this because she posted a video and I have edited it because it's about 30 odd seconds long. I've just spliced the middle bit out a little bit. So before anyone goes, oh, you're misleading. No, it's just really long. So I've just spliced a little bit out because I can't really play the whole thing. Where is that? Where is that? Oh, here it is. Okay. Fans singing. Arsenal fans singing. In good spirits. Someone shouting, come on, you got this. Someone shouting, come on, Mikel. So, look, the Arsenal fans were very, very much in good spirits there. Why did I choose that as the instant karma take it a day? Well, quite frankly, because there's actually people out there saying that if Mikel only wins the Premier League, he should be sacked. Only the Premier League. I get why you do it. You're nervous. And it's so much easier to prepare yourself by being a pessimist so you don't have to get hurt when we come away or if we come away empty-handed. I mean, I do think it is a bit of a chicken position and you try to hide it behind these kind of fake sorts of standards. But the real standards are dream big. The real standards are stick with it. The real standards are be bolder, be stronger, be more confident. Because I really do believe that lot that think Arteta should be sacked if he only wins the Premier League, you've really psychologically thrown in the towel. We were never even talking about a quadruple. That was a media invention. And you know why the media invented that? It's only because of Mikel Arteta. It's only because of Mikel Arteta that we're even considered by anyone or the media to be in for a quadruple. I mean, where have you been for the last 22 years? We were spanked all over the shop by the Big Six before he took over. We used to hold 5 at City, 5 at Liverpool, 6 at Chelsea, all on the regular. And the exception of the League Cup, boo-hoo, City haven't beaten us for years. We have completely flipped the mentality. And you want to sack the man who, if he brings us the title for the first time in 22 years, if he wins this league, we shouldn't be sacking him. We should probably give him a fucking statue. Look, I get it, right? If at the end of the season we come away with absolutely nothing, I will happily concede. You can all line up in the comments and say, I told you so, and you can rub it in my face. I'll take it on the chin. But let's only then have an inquest, and only then, because until that happens, do us a favor, right? Go into your kitchen, get a big orange, put it in your mouth, wrap a load of tape around your empty Swedes, like the absolute gimps that you are, and waddle back into your sex dungeons, okay? Just chill, like me. Now, I should say all opinions are welcomed on the Big Arsenal Breakfast Show, of course, and we do support and respect the diversity of opinion. Thank you. Right. It is team talk. It is team talk time. Sparks has jumped in and said, we beat City 5-1 and nobody says anything. Exactly, man. Do you know what I mean? It's frustrating. Right, let's do some team talks. We only got 2 today. Big Arse team talks. Let's get us hyped. Also, if you're in a chat, what would you say to the team? What would you say to the team? Big Arse team talks time. Let's do it.
Keep it simple.
1 touch, 2 touch.
And then go in the mix.
Get it on the deck.
The inverted wing backs need to occupy the half space to create a numerical overload in the central pivot.
That's all right, ladies and gents. Big Arse team talks time. We've had 2 this week. And basically, we get the same 3 people emailing every week. And one of them's dropped off already. So here we go. North London Nerd has been in touch for a record 6 times. North London Nerd says, this is my team talk. Lads, the noise outside is just that noise. People are talking about pressure, bottling, because they've nothing else to say. We are here for a reason. Don't overthink the last 2 games. Those are gone. Tonight is about re-establishing who we are. Control the tempo, suffocate them in their own half, and remind everyone how we got here. Give the fans something to shout about from the first whistle. Let's go. Thank you, North London Nerd. 6 times. And Simon Rees, our second one, 3rd time on the show. Simon Rees says, keep your heads up, lads. Form is temporary. We're the best team in Europe for a reason. Oh, bold. One bad week doesn't break a season unless you let it. Tonight is about the response. Let's get a high press, quick transitions, and show the hunger to kill the game off early. Don't play the occasion, play the game in front of you. Get ahead in the first leg. Here we go. G-Dog's making an appearance on Team Talks. He's jumped in the chat. G-Dog's Team Talk would be: need to go out and play without fear and without pressure. It's been a while since we did that. I'm not sure if he submitted that for a Team Talk, but I've turned it into a Team Talk. Thank you, G-Dog. And thank you all for getting involved. Sparks, lovely to see you, man. I really appreciate it. G-Dog, enjoy your time in Portugal. Hope the game goes well. Melatensis in Malta, thank you again for joining us. Guys, whatever you're doing today, wherever you're watching the game, however your day's going, enjoy it. Hopefully we'll get a big win tonight. It gets back on track, and we'll be here again tomorrow at 7 a.m. to celebrate it. That's the mindset I'm having. Tomorrow, 7 a.m. Come on, you Arsenal. Thank you for joining. Get your arse in gear.